Hey, everybody. So I just talked to a client of mine, and we were talking about, and she's, I've done readings for her for years, and she's over the years, we work together a little bit now. But one of the things I want to say, I was just talking to her about anger, and I was just talking to her about some of the tools that I've learned from the Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards. So I just thought I'd jump on and talk to you a little bit about anger and about, positioning as anger. So years ago, I was telling you the story. This is when I lived in New York City. When I say years ago, I was a kid. And it was after Christmas, and I was carrying out a big Bloomingdale's bag. They had the big B bags back then, and it was stuffed with garbage. Okay, because that's in New York, that's what you do. You had your paper bags and you threw garbage in it, and then you took it down. And I lived in a little courtyard called Patchen Place. I grew up there. And when you come out the front door, if you went to the left, that was where the trash was. And if you went to the right, you went to the front, you went to 10th Street. So I remember coming out of the door, and I was just, going somewhere as usual. In New York, you're always frenetic, And I was going out the front door, and I got to the street, and I'm standing there, and I was on 10th Street, and I was just turning to go, where I was going. And I was still holding the bag, and these kids one came running into me, pushed me, and the other grabbed the bag and ran. Now, my purse, I'm still holding, mind you, right? And all of a sudden, I'm going, wait, somebody stop them. They stole my garbage. They took my garbage. So I was like, oh, okay, they took my garbage. But it took me a minute to, amp down. And I was thinking about it. My dog's playing on the rug, so if you hear him growl and stuff, that's what's going on. And if you think about it, it's like I was like so ready to be an upset. And yes, it was kind of the incident itself was enough to put me into being startled. And later, I kind of wish I was a fly on the wall and could see when they looked in, they saw the garbage, But one of the things that happened more recently, and this is like pulling back the curtain, full disclosure. So as you all know, I'm a writer, and so I live like a writer, which means there are times when it's like, stuff is piled up on my coffee table like this high with books or research. And so I live sometimes like a sorority girl, okay? Like literally, if I'm in the middle of a deadline for a book, there can be stuff all over. And like I'm walking around to get to the kitchen. And so I had a cleaning person who came, a cleaner who came every week, and she would come and clean my house. And she would marvel at how she would clean and put things away, and then the following week it would be like, like just what are you doing all week? Because people don't understand, if you're a writer, like you sit and stare at the ceiling, you're sitting and thinking about things, and you're off in space. And I remember somebody saying, what are you doing today? And I go, I don't know, I'm thinking about myself, because you're just thinking. Anyway, the point is, she quit, because she was like, you know what, you don't need a cleaner. She said, you need a nanny. And it was like, I guess she's kind of right. So you know what I did? I hired a nanny. I was like, well, maybe she's right. And this is the funny thing, it's easy enough to say, how could she say that to me? And how dare she? And, maybe in another life, I probably would have said that. And even initially I might go, well, that's kind of hurtful. But then I was like, but is she right? And that's when things shifted for me. And that's where, for me, and I know we're going to be doing this year-long journey with the Toolkit on YouTube. So the thing I'm trying to say is that those tools that I learned from the Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards, and one of them is the person right? Are they telling me information that I need to know? And by the way, my nanny is fantastic. She comes the same day as my cleaning person came. The difference is she's a nanny. So she comes and says, how are you today? I'm like, oh. And then she proceeds to straighten up my kitchen, put things away, and basically pick up after me because I'm in the middle of working on something or writing, and she's not angry that she's doing it. She wants to care for people. And I think this is like matching people to their jobs, right? Matching people to what they love. So it comes back to, as we circle around, finding your calling and making sure you're bringing people into your life that are doing the right services with you. So whatever that looks like. And for me, my nanny, I mean, I feel so funny saying that. I mean, she's great. She does what she would do with the kids. Do you need me to pick up anything? Can I do this for you? And it's just, those are the things that as a writer, I need. But I didn't know what I needed until I was told by someone else that they were angry about doing stuff for me that I should be doing for myself. And then I realized that as a creative person, I can't always do those things for myself. And I found the person who would fit the right job, right? So as I laugh about that and I go into my new year and say, well, I have a nanny and she's great. And, you know, I think something I want to validate for all of you is that, you know, I had somebody who worked with me for a while, and I just kept complaining because they weren't doing what I needed to get done. And then I hired someone who wasn't like me, someone who wanted to just do everything in the order that needed to be done and very organized. And I was like, oh, that's not me. Because even when I'm writing a book, or even when I'm working on a deck, it's kind of like it comes, you know, like it comes together. And when I was working on the how to read the cards, it was just coming through me, and everything kind of comes in chunks. And, you know, I don't operate in a Virgo fashion, even though I'm Virgo rising, so it looks like I do. But what happens is, you know, things for me, I'm fascinated by certain things. And so I don't notice other things. And I'll give you an example. I had a Virgo editor at Dutton Books. This is a long time ago. And I was working on a book with her. And she, you know, she would leave her office, right? And I started pulling things out because I was fascinated. Oh, look, she's got this. And she had a great like amount of books and reading things. And I'd sit there. And anyway, the point is that she would be horrified. She came back in. I remember once she says, oh my gosh, what did you do? And it's like in 15 minutes, apparently, because she left me for 15 minutes. As a child, I pulled out all the toys. Well, she then said it took her an hour and a half to put everything back. The point is that I didn't know, but I didn't realize that I had that curiosity of like, oh, look what you have on your bookshelf, or, you know, and I have to pull it out. The last time I saw her, and this is a long time ago, I remember like I walked in her office, and we worked together for a while, but I remember walking into her office and I was like, oh, and she goes, don't touch a thing. I want you to just sit there. Do not move. I'll be right back. Because she had to go get some. And of course I'm like, you know, so what I want to say to you is finding that curiosity. And even if it seems like somebody else thinks it's a bad trait, maybe it's your gift. So sometimes the things that we're most ashamed of end up being the things that are most brilliant. And the ideas that people give me sometimes, it's like, oh yeah, and they think they're shaming me or trying to make me feel bad. And it's like, oh yeah, she's right. Maybe I do need a nanny. So what I want to say to you is, accepting the messages from the universe as messages and not as a meaning or meaning something about you is the key. And a lot of what I'm sharing with you now has 99% to do with the Chakra Wisdom Toolkit, which, as I mentioned, I'm going through it this year free. So it's completely as a gift. And I'm going to suggest you get the book if you don't have it, or even get it on, I think you can get it on Kindle. And have it so you can go through it with us. So there are tools in each of the 7 chakra, and we're going to uncover that. And we're going to uncover who you are and the beauty of that. Even if it's something that you go, oh gosh, that's not a great quality, but you know what? So what? Because the people that know me kind of go, oh boy, it's like, it's just, and I have more to tell you and more to share as we go forward with the Chakra Wisdom Oracle Toolkit. And I can't wait to take this journey this year with you and really disclose more about who you are, who I am, and what the humanness and the beauty of seeing the humor in how seriously I would take things and make meaning of, into now, you know. So more about my nanny adventures later, and I hope you're having a very blessed day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I love you a lot, and I look forward to seeing you this year in the Toolkit journey, but also in later videos. Much love, everyone. Oh, what's that? Oh, there it is. Okay, see you later.